Well, Tony Frank has finally made a decision on whether he supports the building of an on-campus stadium or not. See what his decision was and how it affects CSU.
And Scotty Boy over here decides to try his hand at volleyball by trying to defend a spike from one of CSU's best volleyball players. See if he could handle the heat.
I could not. And Peyton Manning and Tom Brady face each other this weekend. Ryan and I will tell you who we think will win the game. This is CTV Sports. Welcome to CTV Sports. I am Scott Huston, joined this week by Ryan Hillman. And Ryan, after what has been months of debating, Tony Frank has finally come out with his decision on whether or not to build an on-campus stadium.
That's right, Scott. The stadium debate has been one of the biggest discussions surrounding CSU sports for a long time, but as of today, it is official. It's official. Colorado State President Tony Frank announced today that he supports the idea of an on-campus stadium and that he will be discussing how to produce the funds for the stadium in his governor's meeting later this week. Ever since Frank hired new athletic director Jack Graham, an on-campus stadium has been a main focus for CSU sports. Graham led the charge by supporting an on-campus stadium since his hiring, and now Tony Frank is on the Graham bus as well. In a letter to the university, Frank addressed a number of issues with the stadium, including how much the stadium will cost, which he predicted will be $250 million. Frank discussed what brought him to the decision, saying, "I like the idea of bringing people onto our campus, alumni returning to reconnect with the place they lived and learned, fans and their families coming to the campus around the event of a football game, and students enjoying an event in the space they call home for a wonderful, if short, period of their lives." Scott, let's talk about the decision. What are your thoughts?
You know, I think this is President Tony Frank has made his final stake in the ground, declaring his support and advancement for CSU athletics. It started back with the hiring of Jack Graham, and this is sort of the pinnacle.
That's right, Scott. But I do like the idea. The biggest thing for me is we got to win.
Yeah, if you don't win, none of this really matters.
Where you play.
Absolutely none of this matters because no one will go.
Exactly.
Right. Well, after a disappointing loss in their conference opener, the CSU women's volleyball team fell to 7-5 and in dangerous make-or-break territory for their season. This past week, the Lady Rams continued with conference play, going against Nevada on Thursday and San Diego State on Saturday. But good news, Ram fans. The ladies got back to their winning ways, and Rams beat both Nevada and SDSU in 3 straight sets to get the Rams back to a much more comfortable 9-5 record. The Rams are set to take on Wyoming on Friday in the volleyball version of the Border War. Speaking of the volleyball team, star hitter Brieon Paige has continued to stun her opponents with her spikes. But as most people watched the game, I looked at it and thought, I could do that. I could dig one of those. Doesn't look that hard. So I met up with Brieon to see just how hard that is.
Cranston's right there, set from Foss for Brieon Paige, dug out by Izzy Gallia, set attempt, and Brieon Paige with another power kill. Up by them, Stefan to Foss for Brieon Paige, and you bet that is in there on that back line.
I'm joined here by Brieon Paige, the one, the only, and Brieon, let me just start out with a few questions before we get to the court. How good are you at volleyball? And you can be honest with me.
I feel like I'm pretty good.
All right.
I'm at Colorado State.
Yeah, how many years have you been playing?
12.
12 years. Compared to my 2 years, the pinnacle of which was in 7th grade. I made the A team, my 7th grade intramurals team, so fair warning, I am pretty good as well. When you spike, which is pretty much your specialty, am I right?
Yeah.
How fast does it go?
Pretty fast.
Pretty fast?
60, 70 miles per hour.
So, faster than I can pitch a baseball?
Yeah.
All right. How do you think my chances are?
I think your chances are pretty high.
Pretty high?
Yeah.
This is my 7th grade experience?
Exactly.
All right, and your 12 years of experience? I am wearing my athletic shoes, so I think I'm pretty well prepared. All right, well, I think it's time for you to start warming up so I can see what I'm about to get. But as I watch Brieon warm up, I realize what I've gotten myself into. I am so scared. Oh, this is a mistake. Ready or not, Brieon finishes her warm-ups while I do some stretching to get ready to be humiliated. I take my spot on the court and get ready for the spike. Are you ready? I'm ready. Oh my gosh, that is so terrifying. The result of which is embarrassment. Not once, not twice, but every time, as I was not able to dig a single spike. And despite the laughter from the rest of the volleyball team, I kept at it. But sadly, all I was able to do was turn red from embarrassment. All right, Brieon, well, we're done. I am sweating, I am red, and my hand is still shaking. That is so much more difficult than I ever would have thought. Well, good luck to you and the rest of the year. Thank you for showing, really the world, how difficult it is to get one of these spikes. Well, coming up on CTV Sports, after a terrible game from the New York Jets, the Tebow talk has already begun. Ryan and I will tell you who we think should be starting for the New York Jets this weekend.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
30 eyes and 36 homers. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it deep back into the stands.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to CTV Sports. I'm Ryan. He's Scott. And now we're going to play a new game here at CTV Sports called Who You Got? The big announcer voice will give us 2 players' teams, and we'll tell you which one of them we choose. Scott, let's kick this off. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Scott and Ryan, Garrett Grayson was hurt in the game against Air Force. MJ McPeak took over. Grayson is set to have surgery on his shoulder. Between Grayson and McPeak, which one is the better starter? Hillman, Scott, who you got?
I mean, I guess I'll take McPeak. Grayson has just not provided us with the spark that our offense has needed, especially in the first half. We have really struggled, and it seems like in that Air Force game, McPeak really led us. I thought we looked better than we had under Grayson.
I totally agree, Scott. It's McPeak's time. Grayson, you're old news. McPeak's going to step up, and he's going to show that maybe we're going to turn the season around.
Old news, he's 19.
I know, but we need something new. And we're not winning. Let's give McPeak a chance.
Fair enough, fair enough.
All right, boys, the Rams football team is now 1-4 and face Fresno State for their homecoming game. Guys, who you got winning this one?
Well, McPeak's got a hard one for his first start, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Most homecoming games, don't you choose a team that you can play with and maybe beat?
Typically.
Not this one, folks. Fresno State's going to run all over us.
Yeah, Fresno State really showed off in that game against Colorado, our only common opponent. They put up over 70 points on them. We only beat them by 5. If it's bad in the first quarter, I don't think much of Hughes is going to stick around to see the game. Mm-hmm. Their quarterback, Derek Carr, way too good for our secondary. It's going to get ugly.
Hopefully the weather is nice.
One would hope. That's the only thing we have.
All right, both Peyton Manning and Tom Brady had huge games yesterday, and now this week they will face each other. Scott and Ryan, who you got winning this game?
I'm actually going to take Tom Brady against majority opinion here. Tom Brady, he's still Tom Brady. He's still with the Patriots, and if it wasn't for 2 bad plays, they could easily be 4-0. They're clearly one of the best teams in the country, but it's really only because of the home field advantage. I'm giving it to the Patriots. These are 2 great teams. It'll be a very close one.
Come on, Scott. Broncos, baby.
I'm not from here. What do you expect from me?
Everyone remembers the Patriots-Colts rivalries, but now it's Broncos-Patriots rivalries.
Let's hope. Let's hope it's good.
I love it. I think we're going to go to New England. We're going to stomp on their field. Von Miller's going to do a sack dance, and we're going to get a victory.
Hopefully it's better than last year because Tebow was atrocious.
Yes. Biggest reason why we lost in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
We got
atrocious.
redemption. We're winning in New England, sweetie. We're
Let's
going to
hope
be 3-2 on the season.
All right, speaking of Tebow, guys, who you got starting for the Jets? Tim Tebow or Mark Sanchez?
You know what, Scott? The Jets need some new stuff happening. You know what? It's Tebow time.
It's not Tebow time.
It is Tebow time, my brother. Sanchez is looking absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, he's looking like Tebow kind of.
And you know what? They need a new face. And you know what? It is Tebow time.
It is not Tebow time. When you have a filet mignon, let's call that, let's say Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, those are filet mignons. Mark Sanchez is a nice turkey sandwich. Tim Tebow is Spam. You don't go, wow, this turkey sandwich isn't steak. I'm going to go with Spam. You go, well, it's the best I have. We got to go with this.
You know
we
what?
got to write it out.
Sanchez can't do this.
Well, there's a good reason.
You know
he
what?
doesn't have to.
Tebow,
He doesn't have to.
Give him a chance.
He had his chance in Denver. That's why he's not there anymore.
Because we got Peyton Manning now. But seriously, we got against the Texans this week. It's going to be hard. After that week, just give him a chance.
You're ridiculous.
All right, coming after the break, a downhill skateboarding race in Colorado takes a wild turn. Literally, stay tuned to see the outcome.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Bring out the action hero in you. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
Welcome back to CTV Sports. It is now time for one of our favorite segments we call In Case You Missed It, where it is time once again to show you some of the gems from around the sports world that didn't quite make the highlight reels. And Ryan, let's start here. Good old Colorado, downhill skateboarding in Golden, enjoying a nice day, going pretty fast when Rudolph comes out of nowhere and says, "Not on my mountain, get out of here." Thankfully, no one was hurt, but it is strange to say the least.
Deer coming in hot. You know what? Good thing that deer wasn't killed, but if I was that skateboarder, I would be hanging that thing on my wall.
I mean, it's hard not to. It singles him out, takes him down.
Coming in hot, it just blows my mind.
Well, I would hope the deer didn't die.
This one will blow your mind too.
All right,
Scott.
I'm ready.
Check this one out. Out in the Midwest, Purdue intramural football, and if you think Tebow had a weird throwing motion, check out this guy. The quarterback drops back to pass it deep and a behind the back pass for 30 yards for a touchdown. Give that man a scholarship. Some sort of weird reverse discus throw. Have you ever seen anything like that?
No, and the sad thing is he can throw a tighter spiral behind his back than I can normally. I mean, you know,
sign him up.
Big Ten is struggling. Maybe he will get a scholarship
try.
this year. Let's hope so. All right, but finally, we'll bring it back to the pros. The NBA opened up training camps today for the 2012-2013 season, and the Denver Nuggets opened it up by showing off some of their new jerseys. Sort of that retro, neon, yellow, mustard look. They decided to go away from the, good baby blue and the white. Tried to focus on the retro. Even got the nice skyline there in the background. I don't know. It's mustard. It belongs on food.
I wish these were their designated home jerseys because I absolutely love them. After the show, I'm going to go and get me one.
You're ridiculous. Once again, my point has been proven.
They look so sexy now.
I don't understand that. Mustard belongs on food. Like Tebow.
You are silly. They're going to be one of the top teams in the Western Conference, and they're going to be looking fresh to death.
One would hope, at least. That's all the time we have for you tonight. If you want to read the whole story and letter about the on-campus stadium that President Frank sent out, head on over to ctv11.com.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We got some good stuff to say. Just watch the show. For Scott Houston, I'm Ryan Hillman. Have a good one.
Students are responsible for all CTV content, therefore they bear responsibility for the decisions they make. CTV is not an official program of Colorado State University, but is produced by an independent, nonprofit corporation using the name CTV pursuant to a license granted by CSU.